Hello everyone, good evening and welcome to Roma Theory, more transfer news as we're going to be speaking about Retegui, new name, new striker name that has been linked with Roma today. Also, some other talks on Bove, Bournemouth and Everton according to Di Matteo have presented offers and how Bove moving to Everton could, as much as I don't want him to leave, could be very beneficial to us. So yeah, a lot to speak about today. I'm going to keep it short. It's the Euro period. I know people aren't too interested in Roma and club football, so I'm going to keep it short. I'm not going to keep it chatty. Also, it's the day before Italy against Spain. Massive, massive game tomorrow. Shout out to Albania, massive favour. Croatia have been a pretty big disappointment up to now. I actually predicted Croatia to get first. But now Italy, with the two results that Croatia did against Spain and against Albania, Italy have one leg into the next round of the European tournament. But we want to win tomorrow, and very interested to see if Pellegrini, Cristante, Mancini, and maybe even El Shaarawy will get some game time tomorrow. But right, I mean, without further ado, Retegui. He's been linked with us today. New name, new striker. New day. It's as simple as that. It's as monotone as that. It's as monotone as it gets. Um, I don't know whether this is real news or fake news, but I'm here to opinionate, and I would love to point out that I wouldn't mind Retegui. The reason I wouldn't mind Retegui is because Retegui has started his development and growth process last year in Italy, in the Italian league, in the Serie A. So moving from Genoa, where he had a pretty good season, he scored the goals, he helped the team. Genoa had a really good season. He linked up really well with Goodmanson. He was injured. He was out for a little amount of months. He wasn't completely consistent from the start to the end, but he had a good season. Considering it was his first season in a competitive league, he's very young. He was coming from a very different culture of football in South America and Argentina. He oriented himself really well. And I think the call-up in the national team definitely helped his confidence a lot with the language, with the confidence, with the not cultural knowledge because he's not at school, but cultural awareness of football. And I definitely think it helped. And this, I can only see Retegui in the Serie A be improving from here. I think he's a very interesting player. He's very agile. He's good on the ball. He's not one of those bulky big strikers like Lukaku or like Morata. There are a few of the Euros right now, but he's more of a new modern striker. He's little. He's agile. He's very 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 good in the air. Despite his age, he can shoot both with his right foot and left foot. And he's actually quite precise on both feet. So I think the characteristics are not bad at all. They really aren't. And as I said before, I see this Retegui player only improving from here. He came from Argentina, had a great first season at Genoa. Now it's about that next step. Is he ready for the next step? Can the next step be in a very complicated environment like Roma, with a very complicated fan base, an environment where if you're good at Roma in the environment, if you adapt to the Roman environment, you probably adapt to everywhere because it's an environment where if you score a goal, you're going to be named Messi for the next week. And if you miss a goal, everybody wants you out immediately after. So is he ready for this jump? Um, and that's kind of like the devil's advocate here because I don't mind him as a player. He was and he is one of the best strikers that we've been linked with. I would much rather get Retegui than spend 80 million Atletico Madrid are asking for that Omar Dion guy. You can keep him. We don't want him. I think the only player who can be argued might be better than Retegui in the short term and might grab you more goals right now is Morata. But being very honest with you, all the other names, striker names that we've been linked with, I take Retegui over a lot of them. My only question with Retegui is exactly this. Is he ready for this step? Because he started his experience in the Serie A last year. Is he ready for such a big step? not necessarily in terms of games and in terms of a style of play, but in terms of mediatic pressure. That is massive. There are so many examples of players who rush their process too much, go to Roma, and then they get burnt out, and their career gets ruined by this. So if you're Retegui, if you're Roma, you got to be careful here. Or are you ready for this jump? Or do you want to wait? Do you want to have another season at Genoa? Or you want to have a season at Fiorentina and then go to Roma? Because coming to Roma and being the first striker, you need to have balls, you need to have awareness, and you need to be very confident of yourself. And that's my only fear with Retegui. My only fear is that we get him because he satisfies our new project. Again, this is another example of De Rossi wanting the Italian national team, a lot of the Italian national team in his team. Not that Retegui's Italian, and I'm not being, nationalist here. Bring football wherever you want. But again, I've said this many times, Retegui ain't Italian. Retegui plays for Italy, but Retegui is nowhere but, he's the opposite of Italian. That's not, I'm not trying to discriminate here. Please, let's put this forward. It's just me trying to say, yes, he plays for the Italian national team, but he ain't Italian. Anyways, with that being said, he plays for the Italian national team. He knows De Rossi well, similar to Bellanova, similar to Chiesa. So we're seeing a pattern here. And can he be the name? Because having and getting Retegui as a first striker is a risk. It is a risk. Sometimes you get a risk in life, but is it time to take this risk right now? Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. That's something that De Rossi, Ghisolfi, and Dan Fredkin will need to argue about. But with that being said, I don't mind him as a player. I really don't. In fact, out of all the strikers that we've been linked with, he'd probably be my second pick. Because I see in him a process of improving, and he's only going to improve from here. Only little doubt is he ready right now? Is he ready for this step right now? That's my only question. Anyways, also Bove. Di Marzio said that Bove has caught the attention of Premier League sides. Everton and Bournemouth want him, which is ironic because it's like, who wants him? Dan Fredkin or Thiago Pinto? It's kind of like, yeah, who you paying for? No, look, I don't want Bove to leave because I truly believe that if we want to build a young project, Bove should be at the center of it. Because I don't forget that for at least 4 consecutive months throughout this entire season, Bove was the only player that I saved in my match reactions. We were that shit that Bove was the only player who gave us soul and spirit to Roma games. He suffered the change of manager. He suited Mourinho more than De Rossi, and Mourinho believed in Bove more than De Rossi. That doesn't mean that De Rossi doesn't want him, but that means that Bove, however, yes, he's a Roma fan. Yes, of course, he loves Roma and wants to stay here, but he also needs to think about himself and his career. And he wants a team where he can play. He wants a team where he can play, grow, and develop. And maybe he's understood that Roma is in the perfect position and team to do this, which is completely fine. I wouldn't sell him. However, this is where I play Uno and I put the reverse card in. I've actually thought about this. And Bove going to Everton would actually be a golden move. I don't want to sell Bove, and I'm going to put this forward again. But if we have to sell Bove, if I'm placed a gun on my forehead and I need to sell Bove, then Bove signing for Everton is actually really good for us. Because the fact that Everton are being bought and it has been bought by the Fredkins, mean that not only will the Fredkins help you get quite a lot of money, it's kind of like this cycle of money. It's the power of this dual ownerships of football. Because if Everton want Bove, but the Fredkins are the owners of both Everton and Roma, not only would the Fredkins help you pump the value, and so they will put more money into your bank account when they want to buy him, but moreover, if you want to get him back, they won't oppose you. So it's kind of like a permanent move to get the money, but deep down it's a loan move because he's going to a team where you can easily get him back whenever you want from. And this is, I know, and I've shared that this dual ownerships in football, in my opinion, are not a good idea. This is one of the positive aspects of it. In terms of growing, developing, exchanging players between the two teams that you own, that's a good bonus. Because if I'm the Fredkins and I'm at Everton, I can pump the value, nobody's going to protest. I can give you 40 million from my cash, from my bank account to get Bove in my team. So you've got 40 million to invest in the transfer window. But then if I, Roma, want him back, after he's developed some game time, developed himself in a more competitive league, like the Premier League, I'm like, you know what, actually, I want him back. And I go to Dan Fredkin, who's the same owner as me, and go, actually, Dan, can I have him back? Sure. How much are you willing to offer? Oh, well, don't worry, it's me who's putting the money, so I'm going to put it low so you can get him back, if that makes sense. So, actually, I wouldn't sell Bove. I would keep Bove. But if Bove wants to have more game time, which is totally understandable, then a move to Everton would be very smart. And it's something that I did not consider because I wasn't aware of Everton being interested in him. But it would be very smart business. If he goes to Bournemouth, then it's fucked up. If he goes to Bournemouth, then it's not a good deal because screw Bournemouth. Like, they're not our team. Look, I'm going to be very surprised that Cannes and Roma, that have been owned by the Fredkins for at least 2 years, never exchanged players. Surely there's a good talent at that Cannes team. And it's weird that we haven't really exploited this exchange opportunity. But still, maybe it's because players who play for Cannes aren't good enough for the Italian league. I don't know. I don't follow the second division of French football, thank Lord. But yeah, look, I see positives if Bove goes to Everton. If he goes to any other team, no, because he's gone forever and he's going to improve. And then we're going to be back interested in him, and his value is going to skyrocket to like 50 million. Same scenario as Calafiori, and we never learn from our mistakes. But if he goes to Everton, then it'd be very interesting and it'd be very smart business. So that's it. Look, I'm going to catch you tomorrow. Double video tomorrow. Little talk about Italy, Spain. Speaking about Pellegrini, Cristante, Mancini, who, by the way, rumors have it that they should all start tomorrow against Spain. Also, more transfer rumors and all of that. Don't forget to hit the like. Please do. It supports this channel a lot. It takes 2 seconds. It's free of cost. Please do it if you're watching this video. Just hit the like. It really takes 2 seconds, and you don't know how much it supports this channel and this community. Also, subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know your thoughts on Retegui. Would you get him? Would you not? And Bove going to Everton. Is it a smart business according to you? Let me know all of that. I'm very curious to read your opinions. And yeah, I've enjoyed it. Enjoy Switzerland, Scotland tonight. And talk to you soon. Simo.